we were sure about what these teams are going to do.
Kind of the trajectory of where this season could potentially go.
Love for Maui?
Yeah, I'm going to go back and brew it.
We have no idea who Michigan is, who Notre Dame is.
Cardell Jones. I'm not here to play school.
20 years from now, I'll be right here on a bar ladder because this thing is like legit.
Give me a snare. Give me a snare. They can't hear us out there, so
No,
they
they
just
can't.
think we're like,
Can't hear what we're listening to.
There's actually a rhythm here.
have you ever been to one of those concerts,
Even Julia would be
the
impressed.
dance concerts where you put headphones on
I'm not.
and it's like a silent dance?
I've seen those. No, never been to one.
Aaron,
I've never been to a silent dance. I have been to a rave once. I was
you've
there
been
for-
to a rave?
I went for 5 minutes.
That wasn't your thing?
No. The good Lord did not bless me to be at a rave.
Did you get invited to this?
Yeah. Friend of a friend. Detroit, downtown.
This is the Varsity Brews Podcast where 40-plus-year-old men are raving
Yeah, we're at.
in downtown Detroit. What's up, fam?
What up, what up?
It's been a minute here, actually a week.
Probably feels like a long time for you, huh?
It has. I mean, you got me in that chokehold tonight for about 15 minutes, and I
Yeah.
almost lost everything. So
Evan came in with a shiner, and I'm like, Vahid, you do that to him? I'm like, I'm not doing
there's
JJ.
zero chance that I did that to Evan. My reach is like, hey, buddy.
That jujitsu is a little bit out of the brewer's world.
Well, listen, you got to come to one of those, dude. Joe will just shape you up.
Yeah, just bring some brew and watch for one.
I don't know.
Yeah. This is the Varsity Brews Podcast, brought to you by WestWind Brewery. It's also brought to you by Rustic Rocks. Anybody talk to Gabe lately?
Yeah, Gabe came into the brewery the other night.
He did? How's he doing?
He's doing good. The Notre Dame project is done. I guess they're super ecstatic with it, and it looks great. And he's picked up some additional business. He's super busy right now. So Rustic Rocks is doing a great job lifting boulders and slinging rock. So
Good.
Not like in the slinging rock like that sense, but
yeah.
you know what I mean, like physical rock.
Maybe your next beer should be...
Slinging rocks.
No, maybe it should be...
Rocks.
who was that? Was it Hercules? No, who was it?
Hercules.
David versus Goliath.
Yeah, David versus Goliath. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good story too.
That is a good story. And, of course, brought to you by Legacy...
5 small stones.
That's all it took.
Smooth stones. Smooth.
Right in the forehead.
Brought to you by Legacy Performance. Evan's got a code. And if you go to their website, Stay Sharp 24. Stay Sharp 24?
Just stay sharp.
Oh, just Stay Sharp. All right.
We have a code too here.
We do. Varsity Brews 24.
Yeah.
So you
Mine
can
just stay sharp.
Sweet.
you can do any one of those codes and you'll get 10% off your next order, which I am out of the chocolate, by the way.
Yeah, I got to reorder too.
For the first time the other day, I've been getting on Paxton a little bit.
He needs some protein.
He needs some muscle.
Yeah.
So I'm like, listen, you got to
Talk to Aiden, that dude. Hey, I told him.
But Aiden is also 18 years old.
Yeah, but he lost 10 pounds, and I told him I don't even know if this is a real thing. I'm going to say something stupid, but I told him to debulk.
What?
Yeah, like he was
What does he
slow.
weigh?
Why?
I don't know. He when the season started, Aiden's done now. Senior
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
But he looked slow, and I said, "Hey, buddy, you've bulked." He's like, "Hey, Papa, I'm bulking right now." I'm like, "What the hell does that mean, bulking?" I don't weight lift.
He wants to look like Evan.
Season's over. That kid's in the gym the next day.
buddy.
Yeah, good.
Nobody ever walks around saying, I want to look like Vahid. I mean, they don't.
Aiden's going to be like 210 in no time.
Yeah.
So I will, Evan, we got to talk about this during this podcast because, I mean, we're going to talk about the things we normally talk about. Notre Dame losing a spot in the AP poll despite blowing out Stanford. He's rolling his eyes.
Doesn't matter, though.
Michigan, are they still in the top 25?
They are 24, I think. We're holding on.
For dear life.
until this weekend. When we
By
lose.
the hair of your chinny chin
Yeah.
chin. We'll talk about the Detroit Lions. Are they still the best in the NFL? The Packers have made quite a little comeback from being down record of 1-2. Devontae Adams
Jets.
reuniting with his old pal.
Hey, you never know.
How about him just being there
Yeah, I mean,
during the McAfee show
Did you
today?
see that? It just walks in the background.
I thought it was classic. That was
hilarious.
good. Yeah.
But I do want to ask you, Evan, at what age We might have talked about this before in another podcast. At what age does a kid be like, okay, I want to go from skinny to kind of get some muscle? I mean,
8th grade.
8th grade?
Yep.
Oh, it's too early for him then.
I don't know. He's pretty little.
Well, he's skinny. He's not little because he's tall. I mean, he's 11 still.
Oh, he's got time.
He's real close.
Yeah.
And here's.
But if he drinks protein, does your body react to that if you're that young?
No.
It won't. Like
No,
he won't.
I mean, well, my first question would be is what is his daily diet like?
I'm not going to tell you that.
Pizza.
A Pop-Tart in the morning.
Yeah, Pop-Tarts. Yeah.
I'm trying to get him on these protein shakes. I mean, like, it has to taste good. Otherwise, he's not going to drink it. You know, I mean, he's still in 5th grade. Is 5th grade too young to start bulking up?
Well, I mean, whenever I have these conversations, it always starts with, what are you eating? And if you're not eating, then yeah, let's talk about supplementing.
So he's got to eat more meat and he's got to eat more protein. I mean, simple facts, fact of the matter.
Yeah, steak and eggs.
Does Legacy have a protein bar?
They don't.
Okay.
Not
I
yet.
was just curious.
No, they don't.
You could be R&D with that.
2025? Yeah.
I mean, I've got some suggestions on like, some good tasting protein
little
bars
spent
and
grain
stuff,
from the
but,
brewery. Plug that in.
I mean, on that topic, you got you start with getting it through your diet, and if you can't, then that's when you supplement. So when I owned my gym, I had so many guys who are like, I can't put on weight. I'm like, all right, well, how often and how much are you eating?
What are you eating?
And they're like, all right, yeah, I'm eating 3 meals. I'm like, bro, you need to eat 6 meals a day. Your calorie intake's got to be higher. And when I say 6 meals, we're three main meals, 3 snacks, and then being strategic on how you're getting your protein. I mean, I think right now I'm sitting at about 285 grams of protein a day, hovering just above 100 grams of carbs a day, and a lot of that's just fruit, veggies, and some of my protein stuff. And then I'm around 190 to 200 grams of fat.
So you know who Craig Caburso is?
I don't.
Weightlifter. Interviewed him in a podcast a few weeks ago, like a month ago. And he was a professional bodybuilder. And he said, because I asked him about protein. I'm like, like the thing about protein is you can't take more than 40 grams of protein at a time because you don't digest it. It doesn't help or it doesn't work or whatever. That's what we always hear. He said, well, what about your nails? What about your skin? What about all of the things other than your muscles, right? The other thing that we talked about was he would suggest, and I don't know if you would be the same way, suggesting having the amount of protein that is equal to the weight you want to be.
It's 1.5 times your body weight.
But it's not what you want to be. So if I want to be 150 pounds.
Okay, so here's how many.
Then I would have to take 200, is what you're saying. 200 a day. 200 grams of protein a day.
It's not hard. 225, bud.
That's a lot of protein.
That's not.
That's not?
It's not.
How many grams did you have the other day? Like 3,000 when you text us?
That was calories. That was calories.
Oh, that was calories.
3,000 grams of protein.
So today, as we sit here, right now.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
200. Let's see, 225 grams of protein. I haven't had dinner yet.
You've had 225 and have not had dinner yet.
So when I finish, because I already logged my dinner because I know what I'm going to eat when I get home.
Does Taco Bell meat have protein in it or no?
You can get their Cantina Bowl.
Yep, but no rice.
Funny,
Yeah. So here's what I'll finish.
Cantina Bowl or no
Here's
rice.
what I'll finish with today when I get home because I've got pulled pork waiting for me and cottage cheese.
Nice.
304 grams of protein, 51 carbs, 160 grams of fat. That's 2,800 calories.
2,800 calories.
My current 7-day average.
I don't want to know what I'm consuming a day.
My current 7-day average is 280 grams of protein, 116 carbs, and 209 grams of fat, and 3,500 calories a day.
See, I'm trying to stay under calorie. I'm trying to be over protein, and I'm trying to be under carbed. So I'm trying to eat less than 100 carbs a day.
That's a great goal. Yeah.
Mega.
Grams.
Yeah, for sure.
100 grams of carbs a day.
Mega, can I ask a question? What app do you use to track that?
It's called Macros First. It's free. It's through MyFitnessPal.
Okay.
You can scan labels.
Yeah, I know what
super
MyFitnessPal is.
easy.
Okay.
There's a paid version of it.
Well, I've used MyFitnessPal when
I log my alcohol content too.
Do you really?
Yeah, I mean,
It's carbs.
Yeah. Faithfully's got some protein.
This is an interesting question. I like talking about this stuff
Yeah.
because it's.
so when I made the switch to
And how many calories do you burn during jujitsu?
I don't know, probably a lot.
1,000?
I mean, and that's the other thing, because I
Probably
think
not 1,000,
you're trying to stay in a calorie deficit. Is that
I
right?
am. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm trying to be famished, really.
Which I think what you'll find is
Stay hungry, my
Here's what
friends.
I'll say.
Right.
If you up your protein and fat content
Yeah.
and continue to hit that 100 grams of carbs or there around, and it's fruit and veggies.
Yeah.
And it's not, processed foods and sugar, you'll probably lose 10 pounds.
Well, I won't tell you about the Marcus Freeman cookie that I had today.
Did it say Marcus Freeman on it?
Yeah, it does. Here, let me show you. I know. Don't yell at me for the Marcus Freeman cookie. But
It's
it's called the Freeman cookie.
who made that?
Notre Dame, but Marcus Freeman went in and
Is this like through Crumble or something?
no, it's like through North Dining Hall.
Oh. Wow.
Oh, he's calling the bartender over.
Hey, I was doing a little bit of charade. Sorry.
Jeez.
I was trying to be indiscreet.
All right, let's get to the top 25 here. This week, Texas stays at numero uno.
Still pretty good football team.
Hey, best football team in the country.
Let's go Oregon, 6-0 so far. They're up a spot.
I picked them with my heart to win, and they won.
You did. I give you props for that.
Penn State.
Penn
It's weird.
State? Penn State?
Do they? So,
Hey,
do they have a tough schedule?
Penn State squeak by.
What's their schedule look like the rest of the year?
We love playing this game.
I feel like they haven't really got to the heart of their schedule yet. Is that right?
They play 3 straight.
Because they barely
You want to
beat
bring up
USC.
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
Party foul. My term. Sorry. They play. It's the meat of the schedule right now. They play
up,
Ohio
yeah.
State, Michigan,
They got Wisconsin. Your
Wisconsin.
boys. Yeah.
Hey, Wisconsin's been playing better. Is that at Penn State or at Wisconsin?
It is.
Oh, that's at Scotty
Yeah.
too this weekend. Let's go.
Oh, it's this weekend.
Yeah. Ohio State rings in at number 4 still.
What,
they
they were
only dropped
2?
2, yeah.
Georgia, they were off.
Georgia, Miami, Alabama.
Or no, Georgia played. Yeah,
Penn State's schedule in the tail end is weak. Though.
Alabama almost lost again.
they've just come up
Said
flat.
it for the third time on the podcast. Alabama's defense is not good. Just I want to go on the record for the third time.
Guess who's right there at 5-1?
LSU.
Yeah, right. BK.
So check this out. Okay, let's get Iowa State, Big 12. Clemson climbs into the top 10.
Yeah, they won again. By
Tennessee
20.
down 3. Notre Dame dropping a spot.
Did Tennessee lose?
Tennessee won this past weekend, but they lost 2 weeks ago, was it?
Okay.
I think so.
Sounds right.
I still think they're
And
sneaky.
So as we look at Bracket Watch, okay, they've got Bracket Watch now. Oh, no, I don't want that stuff.
Are they going to do a bracket
I think so, which is crazy to me.
like they do for March Madness?
Yep. So here's who they've got right now after
they
this
do.
week. They've got the first round,
LSU Bama.
LSU at Bama. Remember,
And then the
5 through 8 is home.
Right.
9 through 12 is on the road.
So that game would be at Bama.
Alabama. Boise State at Penn State. That's 12 versus 5.
Okay.
Clemson at Georgia, 10-7. And Tennessee at Ohio State. No Notre Dame in the current top 12. Now, it's projected that Notre Dame would make the top 12, and if they did make the top 12, they have a 40% chance of being the 9 seed and playing at Georgia.
So will you be disappointed if Notre Dame wins out and doesn't make the playoff?
I would be shocked if Notre Dame won out and didn't make the top 12.
Okay,
I would be
that's
shocked.
my question.
Army and Navy are ranked. Then I send this out to you guys. What?
How would the Irish faithful take it?
Army and Navy.
How would the Irish faithful take it?
What do you mean?
How would the Irish faithful, if Notre Dame wins out and they don't get in for some
Then
reason?
that NIU loss is going to be a black mark probably for a couple of seasons.
Yeah.
The only way you get over the NIU loss is if you make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think so. It's fair.
And what's a worse loss? NIU for Notre Dame or Alabama's loss to Vanderbilt?
NIU.
But if you're Alabama, you take that loss harder.
It's a big one. I mean,
Alabama was
it's been,
ranked higher.
60 years?
Yeah.
Vandy has not beaten.
I think that the Vandy Alabama is a bigger upset than the Notre Dame NIU. Although the NIU game is a major upset, that's my opinion.
Alabama
Throwing
can
some love
rebound.
to the Irish.
Can Alabama get in with 2 losses?
That's a good question.
Like right now, LSU, Boise State, Clemson, and Tennessee are the at-larges. Do we think Tennessee's going to lose again? Yes. Because they have Georgia. They have blah, blah, blah. The Southeastern Conference is crazy.
Yeah.
Because LSU might lose again.
They could too.
So, I mean, you would have a couple of teams sitting there at 2 losses, and you're like, well, who's better in the top 25? Is it,
But so you'll have the SEC champion. You'll for sure have the second place team, which is going to have 2 losses, correct? Is there an undefeated team? Is Georgia still undefeated?
No, because they lost to Alabama.
So there's not an undefeated team in the SEC.
That is correct. I believe.
So you will have an SEC champion.
Texas.
Texas. Sorry, Texas.
Yeah.
Okay, so you could have them run the table, but you could have then what? Georgia, Bama, and Tennessee potentially all with 2 losses?
Yeah.
There's a big one. Hey, there's a big one.
The SEC has 8 in the top 25 right now.
But there's a big one.
Big Ten has 6.
Big Ten has 6, yeah.
The Texas Georgia game this weekend is a big one.
Yeah.
Wait,
Right?
so do you know who plays this weekend? Georgia at Texas.
That's what
you just said that?
Yeah, you want some big games
That's
this
a big
weekend?
one.
I got them. So Texas plays Georgia.
Okay.
You got
So let's just say Georgia wins that
If Georgia wins, Notre Dame's not making it.
Yeah, because one of those automatic bids is gone. Yeah, but SEC's gonna get an automatic bid no matter what.
Right, but then I'm saying you'll have 4 teams.
So you think LSU gets in with 2 losses? You think all the SEC? Okay, so this is what we were
plays
talking
Arkansas
about
this weekend,
This is
so.
what we were talking about before.
Yeah.
I mean,
If LSU finishes with 2 losses, if Tennessee finishes with 2 losses, if Georgia finishes with 2 losses, if Alabama finishes with 2 losses, do all of those teams make it in over Notre Dame with 1 loss?
Evan is giving the go ahead.
I mean,
nod.
Even though Navy and
Go
Army
for 2.
are undefeated and ranked.
Navy and Army don't play in the SEC.
The triple option, baby.
Other games that are big this weekend: Alabama, Tennessee. So number 7 Alabama
Dude,
versus Tennessee. That's a
that's
huge
what I'm
game.
telling you.
They're both 5-1.
So that's
And
one
Michigan
of those
at
teams.
Illinois.
One of those teams will have 2 losses in the SEC.
Yep. No, you've got Notre Dame versus. I believe that Georgia Tech is a sleeper for the Irish. I think this is another. No, he disagrees, but that's all right.
This game's
Georgia
at-
Tech's 5. Okay, this is crazy. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, shoot it.
Before you continue
Okay.
on with the schedule.
All right.
The Notre Dame schedule, remaining Notre Dame schedule. Who are the 2 worst teams on the Notre Dame schedule left, record-wise?
USC,
Yeah.
And?
Florida State.
Florida State.
Yep.
Yeah.
A
Florida State's
combined,
horrible.
what is it? A combined 3-3 and 1-5.
What happened to Florida State?
I mean, they haven't fired their coach yet. Nebraska to Indiana,
Yep.
which is going to be a
Yep.
good one.
That's a big one. Yeah, because Indiana's undefeated.
East Carolina at Army, that's a big one. Come on now.
Miami, Louisville, number 6 Miami taking on 4-2 Louisville.
All right, so are you up? Go ahead.
Yeah, and then the other one is your favorite team, LSU, BK versus Arkansas.
Okay, hold on. Hold the phone here. Are you ready?
Yeah.
So this is interesting. Texas A&M still has an opportunity to make the college
I know.
football playoff.
They have 1 loss to Notre Dame, right? That's it.
The 1 loss to Notre Dame.
What's their? Yeah.
But they can't get in over Notre Dame. They lost at home to Notre Dame, right? I mean, that's the theory. Unless they get the automatic bid.
Yeah.
So they are leading the conference right now at 3-0. Then you have Texas at 2-0 because they had the bye. Then you have LSU at 2-0. Georgia 3-1. Arkansas 2-1, Vanderbilt 2-1, Alabama 2-1, Tennessee 2-1, Missouri 19th 1-1, Mizzou is 1-2, and then go down the list.
Best conference in the nation.
1-2, Florida, SC, UK, Auburn, Mississippi State.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the possibility of like 5 teams from the SEC making at-large and conference championship.
Yeah.
Let's say Clemson wins, they get the 3 seed.
Mm-hmm.
Iowa State right now is a 4 seed because they would win the Big 12. Iowa State, Kansas State, I know that's weak. And then who else do you have? Big 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Ohio State's going to lose before the season is done.
I kind of agree with that, and I'm going to throw this little tidbit out. You ready for this?
Who's Ohio State's schedule left?
Here's Ryan Day's current coaching stats. 2-4 in bowl games. 1-3 versus Michigan. Sorry, I had to bring it up. Michigan fan. 1-7 versus CFP top 5.
College football top 25, they're 1-7.
1-7. This is Ryan Day's. And then we've got versus the SEC that everybody says that, the suck-off conference. They're 0-3.
Yes.
Sorry.
Best conference.
What?
Sorry. Big Ten fan. Big Ten fan.
I've never heard that before.
0-3. Listen, these stats justify if Michigan can pull off the miracle in Columbus.
Oh,
this
he's
year,
gone. He's gone
he
if they
is
lose to
done.
Michigan.
Like the dagger.
Do you think if they don't win the Big Ten, he's gone?
Yes, possibly. We haven't disagreed. I don't.
Well, do they make?
Oregon's going to win the Big Ten.
Do they make the playoffs?
Oregon's going to win the Big
Man,
Ten.
I think you're onto something. I think if Ohio State, Oregon, name another Big Ten team.
Penn State.
Indiana, Penn
Well,
State.
yeah,
Penn
Indiana's-
State.
Penn State's the only other team that could peak.
I
that
think
we
if-
think it could be.
Any SEC team other than Texas A&M, any SEC team, any Big Ten team, finish 2 losses. Unfortunately for Notre Dame fans, I think they finish ahead of Notre Dame and go to the dance.
Ohio State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if any Big Ten team or SEC team have 2 losses, Notre Dame finished the season with 1 loss, other than Texas
It'll trump
A&M,
'em.
I think they will trump them.
Yeah.
And the committee will place
you're
them in the tournament instead of Notre Dame because that's how big that FAU loss and not playing in a conference will hurt Notre Dame. Oof. That's how it can hurt Notre Dame.
Bold proclamations.
I think if you're Notre Dame,
They're like, can we trade losses? Could we have
Well,
lost to Texas A&M?
I think this is where the schedule bites you in the buttocks. I think you got to have a stronger schedule. I just do.
They won't be able to schedule it
Why is that?
because of the super conferences that are. I mean,
The Super Conference.
But you have you can do 6 games. I don't know if it's still this year.
right? But
6 games have to be against the conference, right?
correct. But if you
So-
look at when these games are played, Army, Navy,
Yeah. Those are all conference play games.
conference play,
Like they're all.
those aren't.
You're saying other teams are in conference play at that team.
Other teams are in conference play. So it limits your ability. You have to do it the first 2 weeks of the season or first 3 weeks of the season.
I think every year you need. Okay.
You play a gauntlet game 1 and game 3.
Yes. I 100%. I was just about to say that. I think.
Who's the best team you can schedule in week 1?
and week 3.
Off in week 2, or
Yep.
not bye, but let's play.
Or
let's play NIU again.
Or week 5 or
Yeah,
whatever.
sure.
Like I think you need 2 teams that are in the perennial top 10 every year to have those games. What?
That
You don't think they do it?
No, well, no, I don't think. Number 1, yeah, I don't think they do it. And 2, you run the risk of.
Losing those games?
Well, I'm saying is if you lose,
Yes.
if you lose both and you go 10-2, but your 2 losses are against
then you
know,
get in.
Alabama and Michigan. But If you lose a third, you're done.
But that's any conference though. That's any schedule. If you lose 2, right? This is what we said. The magic number is 10-2. Notre Dame's also not playing a conference championship game.
Correct.
So that hurts them. But let's say you have 2 losses and 1 win. One of the 10 wins is over Alabama in the Cotton Bowl. You're not getting in? You're getting in for sure. This year, look at the schedule. Everybody's like, they're going to go undefeated.
I didn't say that.
So, Vahid, can I ask this question?
Crying.
10-15 of 24. Looking forward to the future. And the stars are already aligning that there's 2 super conferences that are forming.
They are forming.
Anybody that's watching college football
that's
knows
forming.
that. Where would you rather have? Can we get a little dramatic music or anything? Oh, all right, there you go. That's close. Oh,
It's a
there we go.
scary voice again.
Oh, hey, hold on.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. It's Halloween.
That was different. There we go.
Go ahead.
Dude, that's brilliant.
Wow.
Where would you see Notre Dame going to, or where would you prefer them going to? The Big Ten or the SEC? Because it's
If I
already
had to
happening.
choose a conference?
Yeah.
100% the Big Ten.
So I'm going to ask the next question I have. Is I agree. Why are they not doing it?
Because they just signed a multi-million-dollar deal with Under Armour and NBC. That's why.
All right.
I mean, if you look at the Big Ten just signed a big deal with NBC Sports. First of all, the money for NBC, the money for Notre Dame, that's what every team strives for, right? You have the Longhorn Network, you have the Badger Network, you have the blah, blah, blah network.
Yep.
Notre Dame's on NBC for another 10 years for $300 million.
Hey,
That's a lot of coins.
It's a lot of gold coins.
That is a lot
Let's
of
get it
gold
correct.
coins. Yeah. You want to talk about NIL money.
Yeah.
That they don't spend.
You and I will differ on that. By the way, Benjamin Morrison out for the season, if you haven't heard.
Yes.
God. There goes my top-ranked defense.
Is he coming back next year? Because of this?
Is he a junior?
Junior.
Yeah, I thought it was a junior.
I think it
Is
depends.
Xavier Watts a senior? I can't remember. I think he's a junior. I think they came in the same year. I think if Notre
Watts is playing
Dame...
lights out, though. I mean,
I think
He's gone.
you think he's gone
Oh,
for
Watts is gone.
100%. He's going to be a top. He's going to be a top 20 draft pick. No question. Xavier Watts is the best safety in college football. He's gone. I was going to say though, Xavier Watts comes back, Benjamin Morrison comes back,
For sure.
but I do think Benjamin Morrison comes back, mainly for the degree, probably.
Yeah.
What? Why are you laughing at me?
I don't know.
There's nothing wrong
Is
with
that not
getting
true?
that education.
We graduate everyone and we win championships.
Graduate champions.
We graduate.
Wait a second. I think that's Michigan. Those who stay will be champions.
One time in
One time since
20
in 20-something.
6 years.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's just tough. The Notre Dame defense continues to... I don't care if they're playing Army Junior, the JV team. They hold opponents to 7 points or less literally every single game.
Got a great defense.
They got a great defense. They scored 40-plus points. Is that not good enough?
That's great. They're
Stanford.
probably averaging about 30 points a game now.
Would Notre Dame beat Alabama on a neutral field?
I still don't think so.
No.
Alabama's defense is not that good.
Hey, I'm not in disagreement
Notre
with
Dame's
that.
offense is not that
It's
good.
and I'm not in disagreement with that either.
Does the question then would become: Does Notre Dame's defense?
Carl's got a Notre Dame shirt on. I better be careful.
Here are the facts. I'm just going to tell you the facts. Notre Dame went on the road and beat the SEC conference leader.
that hasn't played Alabama, Tennessee, or Georgia yet?
Can Notre Dame beat Georgia on a neutral field? And is it closer than your 21-point prediction you made earlier this season?
I made that?
Yeah.
No.
You said 3 touchdowns, Alabama
touchdowns.
and
I
Georgia.
don't think so.
No? Can Notre Dame beat Michigan?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. Michigan's offense is like
I'm telling you,
127th of the country.
That would be one of the worst games to watch ever.
Yeah,
though.
I know.
Could Notre Dame beat Ohio State? Let's just go through who's the top 10.
Hey.
Who are the top 10 right now?
Okay, so Texas, absolutely not.
Let's say a neutral
I
field.
don't care where it is. You played at Notre Dame. That's a neutral field.
They do call it the Cathedral.
Yeah, play it at Notre Dame.
They do play at the Cathedral. They say this every game now. The Cathedral.
They say that in the stadium?
Yeah. They say it twice, actually. They say
The Cathedral of college football.
Man, that's so deep.
Actually, it does sound like that. They say it twice as they run up. The Cathedral of college football.
Dude, you sound
Notre
like-
Dame Stadium.
You sound like The Voice. All right, we ready?
It was like when I walked into the Sistine Chapel. And
Oh, wait, I got to turn
you
this
gotta
thing
turn
up.
Quiet,
Hold on.
please. Quiet.
Quiet, please.
All right, go
All
ahead.
right, top 25. And the question is, can Notre Dame beat
Beat this team
All right,
on a
here we go.
neutral field.
Number 1 currently is Texas.
No.
Number 2 is Oregon.
Yes.
You think Notre Dame
Yes.
can beat Oregon?
Yes.
Where?
Wow.
I don't think Oregon's defense is that good.
No, they let
Any team
that
that,
is true.
any
They do
team
let
that
up a lot
gives
of
up
points,
30
though.
points a game
Yeah, that's true.
is susceptible to losing to anybody.
Nittany Lions 3.
Yes.
I think Notre Dame.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
They almost
yeah,
they almost lost to USC.
any given Saturday, yeah.
Yep.
Osukoff University.
Who?
Osukoff University.
No.
That's OSU.
I think they would lose to OSU.
At least I got one chuckle. We got Georgia at number 5.
No.
I don't think they'd beat Georgia.
Not right now.
Miami?
On a neutral field? Yes. At Miami?
No way.
Hell no.
Yeah.
I've seen Notre Dame play at Miami, and it's not pleasant. Although that was under BK, Royal Crispy Wrap.
Roll Tide at number 7.
Yes. On a neutral field.
What is
A
this,
team that,
what is this
that
neutral
gave
field
up
thing?
a team that
Well, like Shamrock
playoffs.
Series. I don't know. Whatever.
no, the playoffs.
Playoffs.
In the playoffs? No.
A team that lost to Vanderbilt and gave up 40 points in the process? Okay.
All right. There we go. Number 8. Have it your way. BK.
At Death Valley, no. At a neutral field, maybe.
They're 5-1.
I
Number
mean,
9.
why don't we just say the neutral field is Notre Dame Stadium because we're saying the playoffs?
Then we're going to have to redo this whole thing.
They'd lose every game at home. They're better off going to play at the tough place.
Actually, you're not wrong about
Oh, boy.
that. Starts a whole can of worms.
We're going to move on. Number 9. The
The
Cyclones.
Cathedral of college football.
Iowa State.
Yes.
Undefeated.
I don't even know who
Yeah.
Iowa State is.
And Clemson, who are making fathers into men.
Wait, what?
In our text group. Did you see the text?
What is the text?
Dabo's.
Yeah, you didn't read the text? Come on, man. You got 100,000 things going. You didn't read my text?
Anti-NIL.
Oh,
yeah,
he's
anti-NAL.
Keep going down the list. This is kind of a fun game.
All right. Number 10 is our boys down in Tennessee.
No.
We got to skip. Let's go to BYU.
Yes.
14, Texas A&M.
Well, yeah, they beat him at Texas A&M. So yeah.
You think you
At
can
a
beat 'em?
neutral field, they wouldn't.
Do you think they beat him again?
That's the question.
Not if it's in South Bend.
Well, that's obvious. We got Boise State at 15.
Texas A&M. The Cathedral of college football.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Hey, by the way, Boise State's running back, what's his name?
Oh, yeah, he's a dude.
He's on pace right now to break Barry Sanders' single season.
2,200
and
yards?
touchdowns too.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
He's
that-
on pace for 39 touchdowns.
Does
and,
Notre Dame beat BYU?
You mean Boise State?
I mean, Boise State? On
If
the
they
blue
can
field?
stop that dude.
That dude's a man beast.
I don't know, man. He's
That blue
tough.
field is, man.
And his stance too in the
It's very
backfield.
weird
hilarious.
to watch. As a spectator, like sitting around with a beer,
I
I
wonder-
kind of get annoyed that it's like, I don't know if it's just me.
I
but
look
like,
at-
when I'm sitting there
Ashton,
drinking a
Jeanty.
beer.
It's hard to follow.
It's hard
because
to
they
follow.
wear the
Thanks,
blue
Carl.
on blue.
Yeah, it's
If I'm
Strategic.
it is. I 100% agree with that.
Can't
the-
see me. John
If
Cena.
I'm a
Smoke and
I
mirrors.
always look at things like a videographer. If I'm a videographer on the sideline, first of all, my white balance is like completely off because like everything is blue. But then how do you follow the action? Like, it's hard to follow
Close
the
your eyes and pray.
That's what I do most of the time anyway.
All right, we're going to stay in the state of Indiana.
Indiana?
Versus the undefeated Hoosiers.
Google me.
Could Notre Dame beat the Hoosiers right now?
Indiana's the best team in Indiana right now.
Hey, I'll tell you what. It's.
Oh, dang, you're the second person to say that.
I think I agree with that statement.
Is Butler second?
It's
No.
Ball State.
Ball State. I think they beat Indiana for sure.
All right. Evan,
I mean, come on.
That's a
Evan,
toss.
are you
That's
not?
a toss-up for me
Evan,
right
are you
now.
up and down or
Listen.
left and right? Horizontal or up and down?
Do you not agree that
He agrees or disagrees? I don't know.
I'm not getting in? I'm not gonna even say what I was gonna say because I'm not getting down that rabbit hole.
The rest are a bunch of has-beens.
Who?
We got.
They lost to FAU at home. So NIU.
Kansas State,
Win.
I mean, Kansas State is a tough team, but I think they win.
Mississippi, Ole Miss,
Ole Miss is a tough team. I think they win.
Missouri, 5-1 right now.
Man.
Pitt,
I mean, listen, NIU
I think it's a flip of the coin here.
NIU came in with like a 2% chance of winning that game.
what about SMU that has had sanctions for the last 25 years?
They still have sanctions.
No, I don't know. I'm fucking around. Illinois.
Yeah.
Yeah, they beat Illinois.
No.
No? You think
They wouldn't beat Illinois?
Michigan's got Illinois this weekend?
No way.
It's got me nervous.
Do they beat Nebraska?
What?
Nebraska's not ranked.
They're 5-1. Does Notre Dame beat Nebraska at Nebraska?
Oh, yeah. Although Nebraska is
Really?
good this year.
Nebraska.
How do I do this for you guys? I haven't figured that out yet.
I'm not running the board.
The Cathedral of college football. Well,
In the third quarter,
Yeah.
they do like in the interlude between the third and the fourth quarter. They
Is that
do
what they call it?
come to church on Sundays.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. Nothing wrong
They
with
what?
going to church.
Yeah,
What did they do?
Father Pete, he gets on the
Tells
board.
them to go to church.
Yeah, he's like, we invite you to mass on Sundays.
Hey, you know what? Try to do good in the world.
Hey, I don't disagree with
you
that,
guys
but
want the
Evan is
last three?
saying that it's yeah. What's the last team?
Last three. I'm going to give you the last three. Here
Yeah.
we go. Army.
We're gonna find out because it's on a neutral field.
Michigan, which I think we talked about earlier. I don't know, man. Maybe,
I think it depends who's at quarterback for Michigan.
Carl, what do you think? Who'd win that game?
I think it depends. I think if Orgy played quarterback for Michigan, I think Michigan has a chance.
Against who?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. We're still on this topic. No, yeah, not a chance. And the last one.
I think it'd be the worst football game.
As a segue for the beer that we may or may not be talking about later, Pops versus Parkinson's, because my dad was in the Navy.
I got the triple option all day long.
option.
No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa, off script.
No, I'm just kidding. I think you will find out.
Irish will beat them.
You will find out that Notre Dame. I'm going to go on record right now. I'm going to go on record. Notre Dame is going to score a combined more than 65 points in both games, and
Against
only
who?
Army and Navy, and not let up more than 10 points. I think both are going to be blowouts, and I think Notre Dame is going to handle both of them.
Got a little.
Why are you saying no?
We got a little disagreement going on over here.
You just don't think
hold on.
Notre Dame is that good this year.
Let me pull.
All right, who's schedule?
I'm going to pull something. Well, first off, I'm looking at Nebraska.
Okay.
So Nebraska's their only loss is to Illinois.
Yeah.
In overtime.
Yep. I think Nebraska's pretty good. Actually,
They only beat Purdue by 18,
I mean,
and they only beat Rutgers last week by a touchdown. It was 14-7. I don't think they're
and
that
Wisconsin beat Rutgers by like
good.
35 points.
I think Indiana beats Nebraska this weekend.
I don't think so. I can see where you get that, but I honestly, at the end of the day, I think Nebraska's going to lose a few.
And you also wanted to know the end of Ohio State's schedule. They're
Yes.
off this week.
Okay.
Then they play Nebraska. Then
At
they play,
Nebraska?
It is.
Oh, it's at home.
It's at home.
Okay, I think they win that game.
Then they play Penn State.
At Penn State? Yeah.
Beaver Stadium.
Wow. I think they lose that game.
Then they play Purdue.
Is Ohio
then
State undefeated?
Ohio State just lost to Oregon.
Oh, that's right. So I think they lose too. Yeah, I think they lose to Penn State. They have at
I don't think they lose to
Northwestern,
Penn State.
and then Michigan at home. I think
They play Indiana too.
at home though. I think Ohio State will lose too, and Penn State will win the. Who's Penn State playing?
This week?
We
So
already
I have
went
Ohio
over that one, right? Did you?
You have Penn
run the
State?
Penn State?
No.
No, nobody did the Penn
Okay,
State.
Penn State.
I think Ohio State loses 2 games this year.
Okay. Who's the second one?
Penn State. They play at Penn State.
Yeah. Happy about, is it a night game?
I don't know. They haven't said. Probably.
So Penn State by Wisconsin,
Trap game for
Ohio
Penn State.
State,
Win that one.
Washington.
At home. Win that one.
Yep.
Man, they have all these games. At home.
Minnesota, Maryland.
Softy.
They're going to
Softy.
win.
They're going to win the Big Ten. Penn State, no doubt, will win the Big Ten. But the question is, who will they play? What if they play Indiana in the conference title? Who's Indiana's?
But Indiana has Ohio State too.
But they haven't lost yet,
So they'd have 1 loss if they lost to Ohio State.
and that's it.
And you're saying Ohio State, they would have 2 losses.
If Ohio State has 2 losses, they don't even go to the conference championship game. But do they make it into the big dance even with 2 losses? So let's do this. Let's say Indiana finishes with 2. Well, Indiana would finish
So
out then.
Indiana plays Nebraska, Washington, Michigan State.
let's say they win those games.
Michigan,
Let's say they
Ohio
win that one.
State, Purdue.
Those are all like very winnable games, I would
So
think.
the
for-
biggest game is, let's say they finish with 1 loss. They go to the conference championship game. That means Ohio State is out of the conference championship game. You didn't think that Ryan Day would get fired if he doesn't make, because he could still make the playoff.
$20 million roster.
Because if the only loss Indiana had, this is how important that game, Indiana and Ohio State, is. If Indiana finishes with 2 losses, and one of the losses was to Ohio State, they're on the outside looking into the playoff.
That's fair.
And Ohio State's in. Because the only 2 losses Ohio State would have would be, well, I'm forgetting about Oregon. I'm forgetting Oregon's part of the Big
Oregon and
Ten.
Penn State.
It'd be Oregon, Penn State.
Yep. Oregon would win the Big Ten.
They'd win the.
They'd
Penn
win it.
State would still get a bid though.
Correct.
So you're looking at
But
Ohio,
Ohio State could still make it too
and Ohio State could make it still with 2 losses.
and not make the conference championship.
You think Ohio State makes it with 2 losses or Notre Dame with 1?
Ohio State, because their 2 losses would be to Oregon
Yeah,
and
I mean, they
Penn
lost
State.
by 1. Yeah, they lost by 1 point. Now
Which would be,
and I'm
which
presuming
the-
that Penn State
That
games,
is-
which
that
Penn
is-
those
State
2
games
teams would
close.
be if Penn State wins, they're number. If Penn State beats Oregon, they're number 2.
Yeah.
If Oregon
Maybe
beats
number
Penn
1
State, they'd
because Texas is playing to Georgia this
Yeah,
week.
this weekend could like
Jeez.
part the Red Sea.
I feel less and less confident about Notre Dame making it. Because I said at the beginning of the year,
42
one
minutes
loss.
and 54 seconds of the podcast. Evan has made a proclamation.
525,600 minutes. What would make Evan a Notre Dame fan?
Is it the Cathedral of college football?
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right, we've had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Good
So
times.
I think we're all similarly on a similar track, except Notre Dame making the playoff. But I do agree with you, as things are shaking out in the season, I think that's I think teams losing is a bad thing for Notre Dame. Like, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
The top 10
That's fair.
losing games.
But they're all
is
playing each other. That's the tough part.
But that's what I'm saying. Notre
Yeah.
Dame's schedule, as we're looking at this playoff system, because everything's new here, right?
Yeah.
As we're looking at this playoff system, it just seems to me that Notre Dame needs to play tougher opponents. That's what I'm gathering
Yeah,
from this.
it's a double-edged sword for sure.
Yeah, who did the Navy play?
Well, I'm just what I'm trying to look up here is because you brought up
Defense?
right, but what would you say they were going to score over 60?
we can do it.
I think they're going to score over 60 against both teams combined.
So that's 30 a game.
35 a game.
Mega.
Well, 30 a
and,
game.
and they're
you're
going to
right.
give up.
Mega beer coming your way.
They're gonna
Don't-
give up
don't
how
spill
much?
on the equipment.
They're going to give up less than 10.
Give them the disclaimer.
Mega don't spill anything.
Okay.
Who did they beat? UAB? Who is their schedule so far?
I'm looking at total plays per game.
Okay. And as a triple option, do you run more plays?
Fewer.
Okay.
And the
because
opposing
you want to take time off
and
the
the
clock.
opposing team gets fewer. So both those games.
Who have they played so far? I just want to know.
Yeah.
Army at
Bucknell, Temple.
Wait, Army beat Navy? Oh, that's last year.
That's last year. Bucknell,
Who?
Temple,
Okay.
Memphis, UAB, Air Force. They play Charlotte. Then Notre Dame, Rice, South Florida, Tulane.
Got some whale of a teams in there.
Who has the easier schedule? Notre Dame or Navy?
That's a funny.
And who does Army have this year? Who have they played?
They probably have a similar schedule, which is hilarious that we're saying that this is Notre Dame, two of Notre Dame's toughest games to finish the season. Lehigh, Florida Atlantic, Rice, Temple,
Hey, where is
Tulsa,
Lehigh at?
UAB,
Who?
East Carolina,
Oh, Tulsa.
Air
UAB.
Force, North Texas, UTSA, and then Navy.
Buddy.
Oh, buddy.
Here's what I'll
Is this like
say.
an intermission beer break right here?
Here's what I'll say about playing against Army and Navy who run the triple option.
Super hard.
I love that they play Navy. I love it. I think you should keep that game on the schedule every single year. I think you have to if you're Notre Dame. I'm a big military guy. I see why it's important. And
I do too. I don't think they should play them.
anymore.
Well, to your point, if they're going to somehow beef up their schedule, that would be one spot to take it off.
No. Hold on. Hold the phone. I think we disagree on this point. You have to get rid of the Maction. I'm sorry. You got to
Because
get
they
rid of
keep
the
losing
Maction.
to them.
Well, one.
Hey, have you ever been to a Navy tailgate? Because
Yeah,
I have.
it's fun.
Oh, hey, it's great.
You have to get rid of the MAC games. I'm sorry. Ball State, I don't even, who?
Marshall,
NIU.
NIU.
Get rid of the MAC
Chris may
games.
or may not be a Ball State grad.
Sorry, Chris. I just
Oh,
think
your father is, all right.
I think I'm just speaking in terms of strength of schedule. I think if you're Notre Dame, you have to get rid of those games. Because how's it going to help you? It's going to hurt you, right? How is it going to help you at the end of the day?
You win.
Wins cure all.
Would you be suggesting this had they beat NIU?
Yes, because originally they had 2 MAC opponents on the schedule this year. Again. And then they got rid of one of the MAC opponents to put the Army game at Yankee Stadium. And the Army game at Yankee Stadium is a complete 100-year, 4 horsemen, Blue October Sky thing
Tradition,
for Yankee Stadium. That's what that game is. But normally they wouldn't play Army and Navy in the same year, right?
They don't. No.
They don't.
No.
So I guess sometimes they do. But like my whole point is, you played a Big Ten team, but it was a weak Big Ten team. You played Purdue. Okay, why don't you play Nebraska? Why couldn't you schedule Penn State? Why couldn't you schedule
Michigan.
Well,
For years it was Michigan State.
Yeah.
Michigan State
I
should
know
get rid of their
that. No, I
football
know
program.
that.
Yeah, they're dirty.
I understand, but I mean the 3 kind of circling teams from the Big Ten for the longest time were Purdue,
Yep.
Michigan, and
Yeah.
Michigan State.
But you look at that Notre Dame schedule, what games can you take off and replace with tougher games? So the first game of the season was, and I don't understand the love affair with playing Louisville every year now. I don't care about
it's
Louisville.
ACC. They're part of the ACC. That's why.
Play Clemson.
But it switches. So it was like a 2-year on with Clemson off, and then it rotated.
Because actually, you're right. 6 games for Notre Dame have to be ACC.
And so that's the other thing too, is
Because
what
they've
they're
gotta deal with the
what
ACC.
they're competing with is you have those
Florida
ACC
State.
games, but then once those ACC teams get into their conference, obviously then they're going to have to rotate around that to make sure they have. And these schedules too are also set years out.
Yeah,
So
they are.
it's difficult to be able to. That's where the lack of consistency is if you play in the SEC, you know every year you're probably going to have 4 or 5 teams that are ranked in the top 10 to 15.
100%.
Big Ten, probably same
100%.
thing. When you play an independent schedule like this, and the schedule is set, 8, 10 years
Yeah,
out,
I think it's 10 years. Is it? Yeah.
you just don't know. Like, I mean, when Drew Brees and Purdue had a run, I mean, we're talking way back now, right? Okay, well, that's
2000.
different than playing and putting up 66 on them this year.
Yep.
You don't know when you play them 4 or 5 years down the road if that program is going to be solid or not. So that's the tough part about, being independent and setting your schedule. You have a ton of flexibility with it. But if you're trying to beef it up, it's still a little bit of a crapshoot 5, 6, 7, 8 years down the road when you schedule some of these games.
Wait, they did have 2 MAC teams.
Because don't they play Arkansas here in a year or two?
All right, so next year.
And they're not necessarily top of the pack in the SEC.
Yeah.
I was just looking at their schedule next year. Actually, in a couple of years, by the way, they open the season at Lambeau Field against Green Bay, 2026.
Against Green Bay.
I mean, again, they beefed up their schedule
Guy's a Wisconsin guy. He loves that Jordan Love guy.
against what do you call it? Against Wisconsin.
Okay, so next year
that'd
they
be a fun
play.
Why
game to
is
go
that
to.
is-
What year is that?
Huh?
What year is that?
2026.
That'd be a fun game to go to.
So next year, 2025 football schedule. They have Boston College.
They open up against Boston College?
No, I don't
Okay.
think these are set yet. So okay, Boston
They're really not set.
College is TBA. That's at Chestnut Hill. Miami is at Miami.
They open up at Texas A&M last year or next year.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
It's September 13th. That's at home. It's a home and home.
Yeah.
That's September 13th, though. That's not.
Oh, August.
No. Some dates are set and some are
Oh,
not.
okay. All right.
So, like,
They play Boise State next year.
it's here, right? Where is
It says time
TBA. Where is that game, though? Oh, it's at home. It's at home. They play at Arkansas?
That was in a couple years, I thought. Oh yeah, it's at Arkansas. Yeah, next year. I knew it was coming.
A little Razorback love.
So
I
they
don't.
got-
Oh, there it is at Arkansas on September 27th.
So they have A&M, Purdue, Arkansas,
Boise
Boise
State,
State, USC, Navy, Boston
Pittsburgh.
College, Miami, NC State, Syracuse, and Pitt.
That's a tougher schedule next year.
I would agree that.
It is.
Yeah. Then this year?
I mean, they play Army and Navy this year.
Evans.
I mean, you
Evans is trying to stir the pot.
you think Notre Dame can beat Arkansas on the road?
Yes.
Hog Nation.
Do you think that gets it done?
Who?
Is that a tough enough schedule next year?
No.
Yeah.
Miami is the toughest game on that schedule, and Arkansas.
But won't Ward be gone?
Who?
Cam Ward, Miami?
Yeah, he'll be gone.
Yeah, he's.
All right, let's introduce these beers, and in the process, let's talk about.
Lion. No?
You want to talk about the Lions? Yeah.
America's team? Let's talk about America's team.
Yeah, let's talk about the new America's team. Hey, Jerry. It's called
The Cathedral of college football. The Cathedral of pro football.
Detroit. The Lions.
What is it? What is the
Silver
field
Dome
at Texas
Cubs.
called? AT&T Stadium.
We own. The Lions owned them.
Same as the Packers owned
I thought
them last year.
Isn't I thought AT&T was in Atlanta.
No, that's Mercedes-Benz
That's
Stadium.
right.
That's Mercedes-Benz.
That's where the that's what I was gonna say. The Irish play this week against Georgia Tech. Who you got?
That's right.
Oh, this is a long time to think about that.
Man.
I mean, every game I need to think a long time.
Georgia Tech is. This is a
They're
sleeper.
5-1.
This is a sleeper game for me. Just probably more
I'm
so than
still
NIU.
gonna pick. I'm gonna pick Notre Dame, but I think it's gonna be
Close. Like by a field goal.
I think it's gonna be frustrating to watch.
Okay.
Georgia Tech by 7.
Oh!
The nail has been thrown.
The fourth nail.
The fourth nail. Speaking of which. So this is 4 nails, brand new. One of our new New Englands. Super highly rated. Brand new hop. I'm not going to tell you what state it's from. Michigan. Yeah, so it's got notes of melon, tropical fruit.
Four
punch.
Nails, you're calling a DDH NEPA?
Yeah, so New England IPA, double dry hopped, Mackinac hops, notes of tropical punch, melon.
I'm trying to smell them right now. 7.6 on the Richter scale?
7.6 on the Richter scale.
This is delicious.
Yeah, it's doing very well.
Very drinkable.
It's doing very well. It's not overly bitter. People are loving it, but yeah, it's doing very well on Untapped. And so one of our newer beers that we just released. So if you haven't been to the brewery, get it here because we're running out of it fast. Like I went back there and counted it. I'm like, wow, this one's doing good. So this is Four Nails, brand new at WestWind.
Cheers, buddy.
We're gonna try a couple new beers tonight.
Cheers.
So
Cheers. Well,
Here's to Boise State.
Yeah,
you're
cheers.
you're picking the Irish.
Yeah.
Close.
I'm going Georgia Tech by 7.
Close.
I'm just a believer in Notre Dame football. What can I say?
He loves his Irish.
No, listen, you gotta have a hype man,
Hey.
and I'm not unrealistic.
When you got gold shoes,
I've always been realistic. Let's see what the spread is. ND versus Georgia Tech.
If I had to guess, 3.5. Irish got to be like 3.5 favorites. Should I pass out our next beer?
Yeah,
Sure.
Okay.
While I'm looking at the
Why
spread,
not? Why
Notre Dame is an 11-point favorite against Georgia Tech right now.
Are they really 11.5 points?
I'll say this.
Take the under.
I'll say this.
Don't spill this on the equipment.
Hey, buddy, is it still recording over there? Does it say record on the left?
Yeah.
Bottom left? REC? Sweet. We're still recording.
We're still alive.
I will say that they cover the spread.
Wow. Bold proclamation.
Two touchdown win.
touchdowns?
Easy.
Okay.
Easy. 2 touchdown win. I don't see anything nervous about this one. I mean, George O'Malley could be coaching Georgia State for all I care still. Georgia Tech.
In between this next proclamation, we have our new beer coming out tomorrow, actually.
Oh, hold on. That deserves a...
Get a cheers. Nice. So this is a brand new beer. This is called Pops, in quotations, versus Parkinson's. For those that don't know, my dad had Parkinson's. He passed away. Bless his soul. Quick
My dad
sign.
has Parkinson's too, buddy.
My
Does he?
grandfather
Yeah.
did.
Yeah,
My
so-
dad has dementia and Alzheimer's right
Yep.
now.
Okay. Yeah. So Parkinson's is a bad disease, and
Sorry about that, buddy.
Had a buddy in a gentleman's club that I'm a part of. Not like that kind of gentleman's club, but
This conversation just turned really weird.
it's more
I'm
like, an FLP club, a bunch of old dudes.
Not a
that are-
cabaret.
Yeah, not a cabaret. Yeah, we're not talking about peaches in South Bend.
The Torch?
Jeez, oh,
The
Pete.
Torch.
Yeah, or the torch. But
I'm like, what's happening?
no.
Now we know the real reason of this beer.
But yeah, no, he had asked me, he goes, hey, I'm part of an organization called Rocksteady Boxing, super cool organization. So it's not obviously, Taekwondo or whatever you guys, Jiu-Jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, you gotta
Well, let's give a shout out to our boy too, by the way.
give him a shout.
Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alexander Jiu-Jitsu downtown Elkhart.
At Jiu-Jitsu at what?
At what?
JJ what? JJ Jiu-Jitsu? I don't know. At
Oh,
what?
it's called Alexander Brazilian
There
Jiu-Jitsu.
you go. So there you
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
That whole
Jiu-jitsu.
world is a small world.
It is a small world.
Jiu-Jitsu.
So my buddy asked me he goes, hey, could we do a fundraiser? I do this organization. So Rocksteady Boxing is a national organization that focuses on trying to help people that have Parkinson's, but it's not like what you think. It's not like boxing, like physical, like Evan walking in here with a black eye from Vahid, getting Vahid locking in a neck lock. It's focused on like people that have Parkinson's and like going through the motions of boxing
Yep.
and getting people to work through some of the struggles that Parkinson's has had. So he asked me, he said, hey, can we make a beer? I was like, let's do it, man. I said, we've done enough charity events, and that's part of the WestWind mission is to always get back to where we can. And so, we're tomorrow will be the big release of Pops versus Parkinson's. It's 5.1. It's a nice, easy drinking pills. And $1 of every beer, whether it's in the brewery, whether it's to go, will go towards Rocksteady Boxing, which is a national organization. It'll actually go to our local Rocksteady Boxing of Michiana, Yeah, we're super excited to release this.
So once this podcast does release on a Thursday, this beer will already be released, so you can come in and get it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll have it all weekend long here at the brewery.
Can people get cans too? I mean, can they get cans to
Lots
go?
of cans. If you got a growler, we'll fill it for you. Yeah, any way we can do to try to help our brother out. And he's a great guy, and he actually has Parkinson's, so it's kind of cool. He's leading the organization, and so we, that's part of the WWE mission is to help out where we can, and so we're trying to do good in the world. So.
Well, Parkinson's is a horrible disease.
Yep.
Because my dad has had it for 7-8 years, and now he's starting to get the dementia side of it.
Yeah.
And that's always kind of a tough one. So this is cool, man.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah, so we share something. Both our fathers had it, so that's cool. Didn't know that.
Yeah, buddy. Cool. Pops versus Parkinson's and Four Nails.
Four Nails.
And what's the third and final? You got 3 beers
I know.
for us.
Yeah. Jeez, Pete, we better slam these.
I feel like I'm milking these.
All right. And the last one is a new one. So this is we talked about it a lot on the podcast.
Yes, we have.
Liebe zum Herbst.
Close. Liebe zum Herbst is how it's pronounced.
Liebe zum Herbst.
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 It looks like Herbst, but it's Herbst. Yeah, Aiden actually says, "Hey, Papa, when did you make a German beer?" He's taking German right now, so he's like, "I'm like, well, what does it say up there?" And he's like, "Well, love for." He's like, "I'm like, come on, Aiden, aren't you taking German?" Yeah, it's called Love for Fall. So I've always liked the fall time, college football. A couple of our friends over that do hometown living, good dudes over there. They asked me to make an Oktoberfest. AKA Marzen. Good beer. 5.6. Yeah, just a nice, clean, easy drinking beer. It's done very well. Nicest compliment we've gotten is, wow, this beer is better than Bell's Oktoberfest. So we're halfway through it already, so it is going fast.
Whoa.
Yeah, nice. It's got a nice fall color.
This
nice
thing surprised me.
reddish hue. So honey malt. That was good. That was good. You had the whole lip thing going on. Yeah, that's exactly what I just heard. That could be taken multiple ways, but
The Cathedral of College Football.
yeah. So Liebe zum Herbst is an Oktoberfest. That is good. That's doing real well. It's been super popular, and we've got this to go in Kansas as well, and have a hard time keeping a straight face. So, but so new beers. Not too many breweries in this area have 3 new beers on tap. It's a slower time in the craft beer industry, and come out and support local. I don't care if you go to Bare Hands, Evil Check.
I care.
South Bend Brew
Come
Works.
support WestWind Brewery.
Come to WestWind. Come to Yakida. Come to Brass Elk. Come to who's our buddies in Middlebury? Wedgwood. Just come out and support local. No matter who you're buying it from, just make sure you're buying local because it's fun. It's a fun time. So a lot of these guys are doing cool stuff, even in slower time right now. I'm still laughing about that whole cheeky thing. Gosh. But come on.
We need one for dramatic effect right now.
Yeah. Got a cheek.
Brought to you by
Westwood.
That's mine, buddy.
Oh, is that yours? Sorry.
Jeez, why are you trying to steal
I
my
don't know. I
beer?
was trying to think
All right,
them
Lions
So,
just, by the way, we got to finish with this. The Lions just signed their
NFL
defensive tackle to a 4-year extension, by the way. Did you see that breaking news?
I did.
Multi-million-dollar, $100 million deal.
Had to figure it was coming.
Well, they got to lock up somebody after Hutchinson is gone for the year, buddy.
Buddy, I was in.
They didn't call it the year. He refused to say he's gone for the year.
He's done for the year.
He's done.
He's
You
done
break
for the
your tibia,
Yeah.
you're
Word-
gone for the year.
Word of the street, he had surgery between 3.5 4 hours from the break. So I mean, Dallas has some of the best doctors in the United States. So shout out to them.
At least they have some of the best doctors. Because their football players are terrible.
They are not America's team right now. Actually, who's America's team?
Give me a break with this.
The
no,
Chiefs. The Chiefs
The
are
Chiefs
America's
are
team.
America's team. Absolutely. I know.
The Chiefs are
Even Bill
America's
Belichick was sick of seeing Taylor Swift.
Come on, man.
Chiefs
really?
are definitely.
He's going to throw a stat at us here pretty shortly.
Give me 30 seconds.
About America's team?
And about Detroit basketball. Detroit basketball.
All right, so our boys out at Barstool Sports, which I love. Not that I'm a big,
Well,
I'm not sure who
You're
owns
definitely. Oh, you
Barstool Sports, but he may have gone to the University of Michigan.
He somehow got in. That whole story
Literally,
is hilarious.
somehow, yeah.
So I don't know if you guys know. If you don't follow them, they're hilarious. They got this thing every week. They release this, they put funny comments in here. And I thought this would be a fun one, a little segment for us since we're talking NFL.
They thought Detroit was the best team in the NFL.
Yeah, so they got juggernauts as Lions, Baltimore, and then this hippo. I don't. There's a hippo thing going on. I don't even know what it means, but everybody's laughing.
Is that the Washington Redskins?
no? It's
No.
not.
Or Commanders?
Commanders.
Because I thought it was
No.
a pig, so I thought the Washington. Do they still do that at the Washington games? I don't know.
Let me ramble down these real quick because I thought this was really funny. Super Bowl contenders, obviously KC, Vikings, Green Bay, Texans, San Francisco, and the Bills.
Can you hold on a second? Can I pause you?
Yeah.
How in your right mind, I don't care if you're Barstool, On3, our podcast, how do you put the Ravens, who literally cannot beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs,
That's fair.
as a juggernaut, and you have the Kansas City Chiefs, who have won 3 of the last 4 Super Bowls, as a Super Bowl contender and are undefeated this year, by the way? I have real beef with that.
Well, let me
Give me a break.
Let me continue. Playoff teams:
I'm upset about
Washington, Tampa. That's Evan's boy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Baker's playing pretty good.
Baker's playing pretty good. Dirty Birds, the Steelers, Chargers, Eagles, and Chicago
What is this one?
are in the playoff team category.
Bungles?
Not giving up on them are the Bengals,
I've
which I
given
think is
up on
funny. But Aaron Rodgers is never dead. The Jets. Elite, they got the Colts. They got the Colts in there. Frisky, but probably bad. The Cardinals, the Giants. This is hilarious. And the Rams. Chaotic good. The Seahawks.
I honestly, from this vantage point, I thought that said Catholic good.
No, it said chaotic. Chaotic good and bad are the Broncos. Another chaotic awful are the Tennessee Titans. I'm sorry, guys. And one of my brothers played that.
Then you go horrible.
Yeah,
can't
so
even,
watching them makes me hate football. We've got the Dolphins and the Raiders. Drake may make them watchable, that's funny. The Patriots, and then you got the Saints, and the Cowboys. That's the categories. Ass. Which is
What's
funny.
below ass?
Mega ass is the Jaguars and the Panthers. Mega ass X Infinity is the Browns. And the final one, they've got jail.
Who was in jail?
Our current Cleveland Browns quarterback.
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson. Is that McAfee? I don't know.
Or is that Trent Dilfer?
It could be Trent Dilfer.
And then the Jets.
The guy that threw the flag. That was
The ref.
bad. Yeah. So every week they have this. Pretty funny. I thought it was funny. So
That's good stuff. Well, the Packers continue to win, and we're happy about that here, gentlemen.
Yeah.
So it's setting up to be quite the ending to the season for the NFC North.
Oh man.
How about those Bears?
Best conference in the best conference.
We said they have a weak schedule. Remember, we said they had a weak schedule
They
starting
just
out.
played a team in the ass category.
So did Detroit.
That is not.
I think
that is
Detroit
not,
put them
like,
in the
you know,
ass category.
a true statement is.
Or did the Packers put them in the ass
Maybe.
category last year in the playoffs?
Good stuff.
Good stuff, buddy. All right, well, that's the Varsity Brews Podcast. Beer, fellowship, football, we've got it all here on the Varsity Brews Podcast. Brought to you by WestWind Brewery, Rustic Rocks, and Legacy Performance. Guys, it's a good one. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Always share your brews.
Always share your brew.
See you in the next one. Notre Dame victory.
The Cathedral of college football. We'll see you in the next one.
The cathedral of college football. Oh my gosh.